What's up, Internet? My name's Mike Jones. I'm hanging out at Media Zone. Welcome to the Sport Folio Show. Got a special guest in the studio today, Logan Morrison. How are you?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
I'm guessing that you would be doing well being a Chiefs fan the day before the Super Bowl.
Pretty excited, pretty nervous. I know we're going to talk about it a lot today, but I want to let everybody know that I'm not going to be betting on the outcome, but there are some cool props we got lined up, and just give our general thoughts on it. So whenever you're ready, bud, let's do it.
Yeah, let's dive into this Tequesta Brewing Company. Actually, this is Tampa Bay. Sorry for the incorrect shout out. TBBBC. BBBB. So,
well, Super Bowl's in Tampa. So.
Homage to Tampa.
Yeah.
And I think we may have had one of these at Abacoa Beer Fest, Jupiter Beer Fest.
Last weekend we did, yep, for sure.
These guys were down there.
And my buddy actually that was with us, the guy who danced and lost his toenail at the silent disco, he got them confused and was like, "Oh, my favorite ever." And they're like, "Yeah, we're not Tequesta Brewing Company."
One extra B.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I just did it as well, so I don't feel as bad.
No, you shouldn't.
So, dude, what a year with the NFL.
Yeah,
I know.
They made it crazy. COVID, close contacts, all that stuff. I know there was a lot of delays and stuff, but they had to cancel one game. So,
and like even with college, we saw some teams play like 8 or 9 games.
Yeah.
So I feel really fortunate that we got some sports. It was a little outlet for everybody.
No doubt.
I think everybody needed to be sidetracked a little bit with the political and virus climate out there. So we're stoked, man.
Yep.
And Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting their first Super Bowl home game in NFL history.
Yeah. Leave it up to Tom Brady to make that happen. I don't think a lot of people had the Bucs last week against Green Bay going up there, being a Florida team, but that guy brings some sort of confidence that a lot of other players can't bring to the clubhouse, because that team was very average at best last year, and I know they made some additions, but you got to think that it was a lot to do with Tom and how he conducts and runs his business every day.
Now, I know we're talking Super Bowl here, but should Rodgers have gone on that 4th down at the end of the game, or were you cool with him kicking that field goal?
No. I mean, the defense had to get a stop anyway.
Yeah.
But I think you should have gone for it on 4th and let him know that on 3rd down. That way he could have tried to run for it on 3rd down when he threw that incompletion.
I would have, as the coach, have fallen on the sword of Aaron Rodgers and not like the kicker in the defense. Yeah, it's an easier cop out for the coach in the future.
Yeah, I think too, with the new age analytical stuff, that was probably the call that everybody wanted to make. But again, they still had to get a stop, and they probably weren't going to get a stop anyways.
Yeah, I'm a Jaguars fan. Sad to say, and they tore us up in the championship game, like I think it was 4 years ago now.
3 years ago, yeah.
Where we were winning, and then we were looking at some stats before the show, and the same thing with the Falcons.
Yeah.
Whatever that screenshot is, where everyone's
28-3 with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and then the Patriots went on a run and beat them in overtime.
So he's got a knack for ending the game with the ball in his hand and pulling it off, really.
Mm-hmm. But being a Chiefs fan, I'm done talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. I think, too, what people from the Chiefs side of things is that, like, not only has the Patrick Mahomes been in a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, but the year before was an offsides away and a coin flip away from probably winning another Super Bowl, the 13-3 Patriots win against the Rams. So there was this could have had a chance for 3 in a row, going for 2 in a row now. I think I hope we're just looking at something special here in the start of a dynasty. I know the left tackle being out in Fisher isn't great, Eric Fisher, but I think that Andy Reid will put a scheme together that has his slot receivers chipping. And doing some draws, some screens, things like that. That'll slow the rush down. Some jet sweeps. The pass behind the line to McCole Hardman. All those things kind of slow down edge rushers.
Shovel pass.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, even like the underhand one. I know you with the baseball background probably have an appreciation, like I do, of the different angles that this man can release the football.
Yeah. It's cool.
The sidearms, the jump passes.
It's just impressive to me too that like you can do it with a football sidearm running away from your throw and it doesn't sail on you. It goes pretty much to exactly where you want it. There's a lot of shortstops in the game that can't do that with a baseball to first base. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pat Mahomes, had he applied himself to baseball, he could be on the diamond somewhere.
yeah, I heard a story about him at Texas Tech. He came in as a freshman, threw hard, had no clue where he was going, walked the bases loaded, walked a run in, and then walked off the mound. That was it. So his illustrious baseball career wasn't as illustrious as people like to think, but he could throw the crap out of it.
And shit, man, pitching's hard.
Yeah, no, it's all hard. Trust me, I've been on the other side of that, and it's not easy.
Absolutely. So, and we do know that Pat Mahomes whooped that ass in Tampa Bay earlier this season too.
Yeah, well, so the first half especially, and then I think Tyreek had 202 yards receiving, close to 8 or 9 receptions and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. So
Wow.
yeah, that was a good tone setter. But you know, again, the Bucs came back in the second half and made it a game, and I think it ended up being like 28-24, something like that. But you know, I think another thing is that like the Buccaneers offense wasn't clicking like it is now. Not to say that the Chiefs, the Chiefs can flip switches that I've never seen before. They worried me all year playing teams close, but they kept winning. And really, that's all that matters is just win, baby, Al Davis. You know what I mean? So they're in the Super Bowl, and I'm looking forward to cheering them on Sunday. Very nervous about it. But let's get to the prop bets. I really, these are always entertaining me, and these ones are warm-up prop bets. So the coin toss, minus 120 for each side on some of the things that I've seen. But if you go to the Barstool app, you can get it at plus 100. So that's cool. Tails never fails. I would go with that. Will the drive length last longer than the anthem? So if you say there's going to be a drive length that is shorter than the anthem, it's plus 275. And if they're all longer, then it's minus 375. And I think the anthem will be around anywhere from 150 to 215, 220.
I would place my money on saying that one of the teams is going to have a big hitting play, you know, and score in less than the length of that song. If I was a betting man.
So yeah, I would say that's possible, no doubt.
Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, all on the field.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of explosive players. I think that the Tampa Bay's offense they'll want to score, but seeing what Tom Brady has done in past Super Bowls, I forget, it's something like the last 4 or 5 Super Bowls, he's scored a combined 3 points in the first quarter. So he doesn't want to make a mistake early. And that's another prop bet I'll get into. But
playing it safe,
seeing how the game unfolds, those kind of things. Now, having said that, if they tried to play it safe last time, it didn't work out well for them because they got down in a hole and then had to try to come out of it. And the weakness of the Chiefs, in my opinion, is their run defense. So there's a bunch of different combinations there.
And the Bucs do have playoff Lenny.
Yeah, playoff Lenny, man. It was playoff Dame last year. Now it's playoff Lenny. The guy is, he's hitting that circle button in Madden like nobody's business right now. The spin moves are out of control, and he's a 230-pound hammer. So, and then Ronald Jones behind him. They have tough backs to stop, and it's going to be a physical battle with a lot of pass yards probably.
It's probably the first time that Tom Brady's ever had like a top 10 running back.
Yeah.
Or at least one that's of like a younger age. They take some older like journeyman guys, don't they?
Yeah. So, and I think like Corey Dillon back in the day, he was with the Bengals for the prime of his career, and then came to the Patriots late. Yeah, and the way that Bill has always had his running backs, it's always been remember Cyrus Gray, or I think it was his name. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated because he scored 4 touchdowns. Next week, didn't even play.
Yeah,
missed the bus one
doesn't
time.
matter.
Yeah, he's done. So I think it's a rotating running back carousel for the Patriots up there. They're gonna have to run the ball to beat the Chiefs. They're gonna have to keep the ball away from Pat Mahomes. And in my opinion, the Chiefs offense will have to turn the ball over a couple times for them to win. It's probably a biased look, but
I was gonna say, are you a homer?
Yeah, no, but if I know he's the greatest of all time, but that defense for the Chiefs is pretty underrated. When they need to make plays, they make plays. Their statistics aren't great, but they're 14-2 team for a reason. That's because their defense has made a lot of big plays for them. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger back there, he's a ball hawk. Chris Jones is, in my opinion, 1-2 top defensive players in the game. Him and Aaron Donald, just interior rush. And if you get in Brady's face and you push the pocket back into him, not necessarily edge rushers because he can step up, but if you push the middle of the pocket back into him, it's going to be a long day for him. And he threw 2 or 3 picks last time he played the Chiefs in week 6, I think.
Because he's very
12.
much he's a rhythm guy. Like he's get the ball in your hand and get it out and get like those, 1 to 6 yard plays.
Yeah, ball control
to get in the flow,
extension of the running game.
Yeah.
But having said that, though, like if you go cover 0 on him and you blitz him, he's gonna take his chances. He's gonna throw the deep ball to Scotty Miller at the end of the half last week, which was a terrible oversight by that defense.
How do you let someone behind you?
It's
with
not great.
That many seconds left.
But then you got he has so many weapons. You can throw it up to Mike Evans, Antonio. It's gonna be a tough cover, but I think that in these bets here, one of my favorite bets is the under. First quarter of 10. It's just how these playoff games kind of play out. They've all kind of started slower. Even with the Bills and the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, they fumbled the punt return basically on the 1 yard line, and it was 9-0 at the end of the first half. So I think that it'll be a low scoring.
People were jumping through tables that day.
Yeah, well, 100%, probably with fire on them too.
Yes.
So yeah, I would take the under, and that would be one of my favorite bets. Again, not going to bet the outcome, but the under of the first quarter is one of my favorites. I don't know if I'd call it a lock to invest in the game, to have locks this week.
Go.
But
what are some other prop bets that you got over there?
So I always like these. Which coach will be shown first, Andy Reid or Arians? You're getting even money on Arians.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Kelsey and Gronk. Kelsey's minus 130, Gronk's 110, and they had Mahomes and Brady on there too. And I think Mahomes was plus 120. So,
what do you think Andy Reid thinks right now? Watching the Eagles head coach got let go, and obviously he's probably cementing legacy at this point because he was probably a quarterback away in Philadelphia for most of his tenure, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he had some really good teams. Obviously, you don't go to 5 straight NFC championships not having good teams.
Yeah.
And he had Donovan. So, I mean, Donovan was serviceable at the very least. I think he was, obviously he was an all-pro sometimes, but I don't really know how the all-pro works there and if it's like a popularity contest, that kind of thing. Yeah. But
and then Vic.
He had Vic, yeah. I mean, his running backs were really good too. Darren Sproles, Brian Westbrook, yeah.
He's always had utility guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like really good, I would call them like pass catching, screen catching, third down backs, but like they play every down. And it's just like, and especially, I don't know with what it was like in Philly, but dude, when you got Pat Mahomes, you're going to throw the ball 75% of the time. You should throw it like 90, but they're going to throw it 75% of the time. And
1% of those are going to be no look passes.
Yeah. 1% could be in behind the back, the underhand shovel passes like we talked about.
He makes it fun to watch, doesn't he?
I mean, his first year starting when he won the MVP, just watching, like, it was so cool to, like, because the Chiefs have been good before in my lifetime, never this good where they've won a Super Bowl, but like our missing link has always been the quarterback, and it's just like a totally different feeling to watch an electric quarterback on your team versus just watching a team that's really good on defense and can run the ball and has a serviceable quarterback. It's just like jaw-dropping plays, like throwing across his body, like, no looking, all that kind of stuff. And like the guy now has like figured out that it's not all about stats and like winning or stats and like putting up touchdowns. It's like, how do I win the game? So he like does a really good job.
Yeah.
A lot of our wins too have come from like him controlling the ball in the last 4-minute offense, like the 4th and 1 plays of Tyreek, like those kind of things, extending drives, and then we just end the ball or in the game with the ball in our hands. Protecting leads is what he does really well. And he's just figured out the game and within the game, kind of like Jordan, but it like took him 6 years. But
Well, I know the last time you guys had a good quarterback was Joe Montana.
Oh yeah, thanks for that ball, kid.
Hey,
Yeah. So Joe, I don't know if his last. I mean, Alex Smith's a good quarterback, but
Yeah,
he's
he
not
was.
Joe Montana. Joe Montana's the second greatest quarterback of all time.
Second.
Well, I mean, he's got 4 championships. Brady's got 7.
Okay.
So,
Hey,
you know.
you were just very concrete on, that wasn't even a debate.
No, and I mean, he took an average Chiefs team with a really good defense, and he took them to the AFC Championship and got absolutely worked by the Bills in '93, or '95, but that's okay.
Joe Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was when the Bills went 4 times in a row, right?
Insane.
Yeah.
And now they have the Super Bowl curse, and you can't do that. If you lose the Super Bowl, it's like you're not making the playoffs next year.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
You're
Crazy.
finding your head coach the next year, too.
It's crazy. Well, 2 years later, yeah. So you're talking about Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid, if he would actually be honest, he'd be like, yeah, the Eagles isn't really that great of a job.
Yeah.
I mean, you get fired after 3 years. I get it. There might have been some disagreeing parts and whatnot, but dude, the guy won a Super Bowl 3 years prior too. Give him a year to figure it out. He made the playoffs the year before. I don't know.
So, and that you got to imagine too, if you divide a locker room, which you do when you start picking quarterbacks out of the game after 1 quarter.
Yeah.
So it's tough when you lose the locker room. I think that's when the GM or the owner has to come in sometimes and at least bring in something fresh where everyone doesn't hate each other. We'll give the new guy a shot. But it's nice to see Andy Reid do really well because I've always thought he's just an iconic looking football coach as well.
Yeah.
100 pounds overweight at minimum.
That's
with a
Big
huge
Red, baby.
mustache.
That's Big Red, the Gatorade man. How about those Chiefs? He's awesome. I think he does a really good job of organizing and just being the total runner of the show through practice throughout the week, through the games. I think he does a great job of delegating as well. Offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy's been great. He lets Spags do his thing on defense, the defensive coordinator, and it's cool to see because if I was in that knowing my type A, I'd be like, no, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta do this, and Andy's like, no, let them. This is why I hired them. I'm gonna let them do their thing. Yeah. That's why I got Pat Mahomes because I'm gonna call this, and this, and he's gonna make something happen.
I thought Eric was gonna get poached maybe next season.
I don't know exactly how this works, but can he? I thought you couldn't interview if your season was still going on, but that might not be the case.
There used to be a 1 week non-tampering window from what I understand. But now everything's remote. Who knows? And we know there's a lot of backdoor deals.
Oh, the free agents and stuff in the NFL. It's crazy. You can, you can't talk about it till March or whatever. No, they know where they're going before March. They've had all these conversations.
Well, they always said the NFL Combine was the biggest free agent negotiation combine.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the numbers on these college kids. They're on a board.
No doubt.
I feel like the Combine is a great place to plan your next trade.
Who came in second to get me? Then okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you make. I would assume that you make good contacts there. I mean, you meet all the GMs, all the coaches, all that kind of stuff. So I see it.
So we talked a little bit about the Chiefs coach. Now, if we go over to Tampa Bay, obviously Bruce Arians brought a little swag down to Tampa. He's the guy with the
crossbody,
the cool hat. He's the guy that, cancer survivor too, right? From what I remember.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, you dropped knowledge on me there.
Okay, I believe so.
Okay.
And then Bruce Arians is he's a guy that likes to throw the ball long, and I think that's just good for the game. I've always enjoyed close games, but high-scoring games. Even just as a spectator sport, because we were talking before the show about the Super Bowl with the Rams and the Patriots. It was 13-3.
Terrible game.
I remember being at a Super Bowl party, being
and if you remember that year, one of the most entertaining games of the year was Chiefs versus Rams when they had to reschedule from Mexico City back to LA, and it was 56-54. There was 5 turnovers. The defense scored twice. It was a crazy just fireworks. Boom, 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 boom. Rams ended up winning, and then the Chiefs are playing the Patriots. Man, that'd be awesome to see that rematch.
Yeah.
Tom is Tom, and we had no defense that year, and we had a pick, and we were going to go to the Super Bowl like Tony Romo was calling, and then, oh, wait, there's a flag. Tony, don't tell me I'm going to the Super Bowl if I'm not going to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Fired me up. Still remember that. If I ever meet him, I'll be like, Tony, remember that one time when you called the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl early? Remember that? Because I do. Broke my heart. He did.
He is a fantastic color commentator. Isn't that what they call?
And he was excited this year, too. Remember the anything is possible against the Browns? He's got a first down. He's sending them to the AFC Championship. No, he's not. He's short. But then the next play he did. So it was okay, Tony. I forgive you for that one.
Dude, I like Tony because he predicts the plays, too.
He's pretty good at it.
He's like
But he's also, so like that next play, right? What happened? He's like, they're not going to run a play. They're not going to run a play. They ran a play first down. But you're right. He is pretty on point with that stuff. He's like, oh, they got this matchup right here on the inside. Look, I'm going to take advantage of that. Boom, sure enough.
He was built to be a personality. Like he was always had like a blonde-haired girl in the stands.
His wife?
No, he had like a singer chick for a while.
Was it Carrie Underwood?
Yeah, something like that. Don't quote me, but Jerry World was a spectacle when Romo
still is.
Yeah, so
that guy needs to relinquish some control. Like he has a really good offense. He had no defense going in, and he takes CeeDee Lamb with his first pick. It's like, dude, your offense is just fine.
It'd be tough to pass on CeeDee though.
Well, I mean, you already have two great receivers. You have I think what actually hurt them was not only losing Dak, but like the offensive line was so beat up the entire year too. So they're a better team than what they are, and them getting a higher draft pick this year was probably a better thing for them.
What did you call the 49ers this year when they got injury plagued? The 48ers or
the 39ers? Yeah. Dude, I mean, they had so many injuries at key positions, and like they're dudes, and it's just.
And they were in the Super Bowl last year.
And that's the Super Bowl curse thing, man. And a lot of it could be due, like Eric Fisher probably tore his Achilles because of the wear and tear he's had for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a big human. They always run screen passes, so he's always sprinting down the field to block somebody. And it's like they're playing 20 games a year. They're not playing 16 games a year.
He was a top 5 pick, though.
Number 1 overall, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Suffered
right.
through those years. But hey.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. That wasn't that long ago. It's good to know that in the NFL, like any given Sunday, almost always, right?
Well, unless you're betting on the games.
Okay.
Yeah, so it makes for interest and craziness and all that stuff. You want dependability if you're betting. You want to be like, this team is going to beat this team. I know it. But then there's always that like crazy dude. Okay, so I put some money on the Jets and Raiders when Derek Carr to step up in the pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to lose this game. You got to be kidding me. It's going to be the Jets' first win. By the way, when the Chargers were like 0-15 and they beat who they beat? They beat somebody, the Browns maybe, and they were decent that year. No, that's what it was. The Browns were 0-14, 15, and the Chargers got beat by them. I put money on the Chargers as well. So I've been good at that.
You're
and by the way,
eventually.
Yeah. And by the way, though, the Rams, I put money on them to beat the Jets, and the Jets ended up smoking them. So and got their first win of the year.
Wow. And then that's how you lose a head coach.
And the first pick overall, Trevor Lawrence, who's having shoulder surgery, but we'll see.
He is.
Well. Right.
Wow, Lomo, we got to wrap this up, bro. Any closing remarks? Are you going to make a pick?
Yeah, Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is a career 10-0, undefeated when he has 2 weeks to prepare for a game. Go Chiefs.
Go Sports. Until next time, we'll come back next week and let's talk about the outcome, huh?
Yes, if the Chiefs are victorious. If they're not, I'm probably going to run and hide.
Take a week
I'm
off.
not going to be here. Yeah,
right.
I'm going to be sick or something.
Well, cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Yo.